Hello students, good afternoon. Today I am going to discuss on the remaining topics of chapter 6, food adulteration. So remaining topics from these chapters are incidental adulteration and their ill effect on health. These are metallic contamination, fungal and bacterial contamination, and pest and pesticide residues in food and their hazards in health. Then next topic is prevention of food adulteration. How to prevent food adulteration? What are the preventive measures to stop food adulteration, or what are the precautions of food adulteration? And another topic, that is the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954. And last topic of this chapter is the what is quality. Okay, so if you have watched previous videos and live class, so this is the continuation of the live class. So in previous videos you have learned about what is incidental or unintentional or accidental adulteration, and what are the adulterants, incidental or unintentional adulterants present in the food. And today you are going to learn incidental or unintentional or accidental adulteration, or the adulterants present in the food, and their ill effect on health or health hazards. So as you know that incidental or unintentional accidental adulteration take place due to the negligence, due to lack of awareness, due to poor storage facilities. Okay, so all this leads to incidental adulteration. So metallic contaminants or metallic contamination or toxic metals, what are their health hazards? Okay, if in case these are present in food, toxic metals, in case these are present in foods, what are the ill effect or toxic effect on health? These you learn from this particular slide. Okay, so you know that toxic metals, in case these are present in food beyond the small concentration, like arsenic, lead, cobalt, tin, mercury, in case these are present, it will be harmful for our health. Okay, so arsenic, it is one of the toxic metal. Arsenic, lead, cobalt, tin, mercury, these are the toxic metals. So in case in exam question comes, what are the toxic metals or metallic contaminants? So these are the arsenic, lead, cobalt, tin, mercury, these are the toxic metals. So one by one you will learn about the toxic metals and food commonly involved. Okay, what are the foods contaminated by these toxic metals, and what are the toxic effects or health hazard, okay, or harmful effect on health. So first one is arsenic. As you know that arsenic, usually in case farmers and all, they spray pesticides. So from the pesticides, sometimes this arsenic come in contact with the food. So certain fruits and vegetables which are sprayed by lead arsenic, that is the toxic thing, so this is the insecticide to kill the insect or pest. So this lead arsenate is to spray it to fruits and vegetables to save them from the insect pest. So in case fruits and vegetables, these are sprayed by lead arsenate, okay, that leads to the certain ill effect, that is dizziness, cramps, chills, paralysis, leading to death. Chills means the sudden feeling of coldness without fever or with fever. Okay, next is the lead. So lead also one of the toxic metal. Okay, so lead is a toxic metal or element, and if it is contaminated with food, or the contamination of food with this lead can cause different kind of toxic symptoms. So what are the toxic symptoms or ill effect? These are nausea, vomiting, then abdominal pain, anemia, insomnia, that is the lack of sleep, means someone is unable to fall asleep. Okay, this is the disorder related to sleep. Okay, then muscular paralysis and brain damage. So lead can be found in certain foods, the foods which are involved, these are the processed foods. So you know what are the processed foods, okay, which are not in raw form, which are processed. And also lead water pipes. So water which supplies through the lead water pipes also can be contaminated with the toxic metal, that is the lead. Okay, so it leads to nausea, abdominal pain, anemia, insomnia, muscular paralysis, and brain damage. The next is cobalt. So cobalt can be found in water, beer, so it leads to cardiac failure. Then next toxic metal is the tin. So the food which is packed or kept in can, okay, the all kind of canned foods can be contaminated with tin, which can leads to vomiting, photophobia, then colic. Then another is mercury. Mercury fungicide treated seed grains or mercury contaminated fish, particularly pike, tuna, and shellfish. Okay, so foods which are commonly involved, these are the seed grains, okay, which are treated with mercury fungicide. And also the sea fish like pike, tuna fish can be contaminated with mercury, and mercury can leads to paralysis, brain damage, and blindness. Next toxic metal is the barium. So it can be found in foods contaminated by rat poison. If the foods are contaminated by rat poison, okay, that can be contaminated with the barium, and it leads to muscular twitching, violent peristalsis. Okay, next is cadmium. Fruit juices and soft drinks where you can find the cadmium, so it leads to liver, kidney damage, excessive salivation, prostate cancer, multiple fractures. Then next toxic metal is the copper. The acid foods in contact with tarnished copperware, okay, so it leads to vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain. So next topic is the health hazard due to bacterial and fungal contaminants or contamination of foods with harmful microorganisms or pathogens. So what are the harmful effect on health due to the microorganisms which can come in contact with foods, or what are the pathogens? We know what are the pathogens or microorganisms, that these are bacteria, fungus, okay. So certain foods, okay, certain foods, say for fruits, vegetables in raw form, then milk and milk products, raw meat and meat products, okay, milk and milk products, okay. So these are the certain foods, okay. So certain microorganisms, they find the way to get in to enter in the human body through this kind of foods. So what are the foods? These are like raw foods, like such as meat, fish, milk, vegetables, okay. So in case this kind of foods come in contact with microorganisms, so this microorganism, they find the way to get into or enter into the human body, okay. Such kind of fruits and vegetables or meat, fish, milk, vegetable, in case they are grown on sewage area, are likely to be contaminated with harmful microorganisms, okay. So certain microorganisms can be destroyed through cooking process, okay. When you provide heat, this kind of microorganism can be killed, but certain microorganism remains in the food in case the foods are not properly treated, not properly cooked, not if not enough amount of heat is not provided, certain microorganism can still remain in the food. So proper cooking is very much important to kill the microorganisms. So there are certain microorganisms, in case we consume okay, certain contaminated foods, okay, it can leads to food poisoning. Some foods we eat in raw form, okay, without proper washing or cooking, we eat it. So these microorganisms, they can find a way to get into our body or human body, and can leads to food poisoning, or ultimately it can leads to death also. So here are the some examples of bacterial this one microorganisms and food commonly involved and their ill effect. So under bacterial, bacillus, cereals, that is in cereal products can be found. So you know what are the cereal products: wheat flour, rice, bajra, okay, jowar. All these are the cereal products where you can find this kind of bacillus, this kind of bacteria. Then due to this kind of bacteria can leads to nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain. Next is staphylococcus, staphylococcus or aureus. Foods kept exposed or sale in unhygienic surroundings or condition can leads to this kind of this one contamination, bacterial contamination. So in due to this kind of bacterial contamination can leads to increased salivation, vomiting, abdominal pain and diarrhea. Next is fungal, aspergillus flavus. Aspergillus flavus, the food commonly involved, these are the corn and groundnuts, okay, and this leads to liver damage and cancer. Next is the pest and pesticide residue. So pests such as rodents, insects introduce into the food a high degree of filth, that is the dirt from their body in the form of excreta. You know excreta, these are the waste material from their body, from the insect body. Then bodily secretion, their body fragments or body hairs, and spoilage microorganisms. So this kind of, in case foods are exposed to certain pests and rodents, insect, can leads to different kind of health issues, which are also can main causes of disease causes, causing microorganism, and can leads to different kind of health problem. Then next is pesticides. As you know, pesticides are used to save the crops or plants from the insect, from the pest, from the animal. Okay, so there are different kind of pesticides are used to save the crops by the farmers. So pesticides are the most common incidental adulterants. One of the example, DDT, that is dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane, and the malathion residues may be present on the plant products much more than what is considered as safe. If it is more amount, the amount of pesticide is supposed to be sprayed on the plant, but if it is beyond that, if it is excess amount is used in the on the plant, that can lead, that is unsafe for us to consume such kind of plant-based food products. So chemicals like DDT are absorbed by the small intestine when ingested. The toxin usually pile up in the fatty tissues of such vital organs as the thyroid, heart, kidney, liver, mammary gland, and testes, and damage these organs. Sometimes these chemicals uh, can go through this one, okay, through the this one, if the children means this kind of chemical also can be absorbed by the small intestine, okay. So they can be transformed, this kind of chemical can be transformed uh, from the umbilical cord blood to the growing fetus and through breast milk, okay. In children, the disease, apart from crippling them, inhibits their growth. So sometimes what happens, these chemicals can be absorbed by the small intestine, and it can also can be transferred through umbilical cord to the fetus, and can also inhibits or can disturb their growth. Next is prevention of food adulteration. So here you, in this topic, you will learn how to prevent food adulteration, what are the way to stop food adulteration, what are the precautions can be taken to avoid food adulteration. One of the number one is the buy packed and sealed food items, okay. So whenever you purchase food, food product, always you go for the packed food, sealed food. Okay, don't go for the loose open food items. It can be easily adulterated by the seller, or also can be this one can be damaged by certain insect or microorganisms. So always go for or buy or purchase the packed or sealed food items. Next is buy from the known or familiar shops or cooperative stores. Then whenever you purchase product, we always prefer the familiar shops. There will be less chances of adulteration or cheating. Then next is buy products having proper label and read labels. So the products which are having proper label, that kind of label you should that kind of food product you should purchase. So you know, label is a piece of paper or piece of plastic, plastic paper it is to attach to the food products or any other products, where all the informations are given regarding the manufacturing date, expiry date, then regarding the net quantity, then what are the ingredients material used, what are the nutritional facts, everything's informations are given in label. Okay, so you have to read properly labels about the product information, whether it's having proper manufacturing date or not, having the proper manufacturing address or not. Okay, all kinds of things you need to read from the label. So buy the product having proper label and read the labels properly, so that you can some or other way you can stop the food adulteration. As far as possible, buy whole grain and spices. Whenever you purchase grains or spices, instead of purchasing powder form, you better to purchase whole grain, so that you can uh, make the powder at home, so there are less chances of adulteration. Next, regular market survey is very important by the government authorities, those who all are responsible for this job, to have the proper market survey by the food inspector or other authorities assigned by the government. Regular market survey is very important, so to keep an eye on the seller, whether they are doing adulteration or not. Then using safer pesticides. Then washing vegetables before cooking is very important, so that you can, in some extent, you can avoid food adulteration. Some, you know that in fruits and vegetable, pesticides are used, chemicals are used. So if you don't wash it, you may also maybe it can harmful for your health. So before cooking, it is very important to wash your fruits and vegetables. Or blanching also is one of the way to remove chemicals or other kind of any unwanted things from the foods. Okay, then teaching farmers to use safer pesticides. So teaching them, giving the information regarding the safer pesticide, and also giving the information what are the harmful effects on health in case they use the pesticide in excess amount. Okay, so very important to teach the farmer to use the pesticide, how to use, what are the safe pesticide, okay, what extent to use, these are very important. So teaching farmers is also one of the way to avoid adulteration, or to take the preventive measure to avoid adulteration. Then next is punishment for those responsible for the adulteration. So it is very important that government should take the initiative to punish this kind of fraud seller or manufacturer, those who are involved in adulteration, to punish them. Okay, those are responsible for adulteration. Punishment is very important, otherwise they may practice the same thing. So there are certain laws, acts are formulated by the government, where in case they find this kind of fraud practices, okay, they are also liable to get the punishment. Okay, so punishment for those responsible for the adulteration. Next, this is one of the act to prevent food adulteration. Okay, to prevent food adulteration, it is one of the act, it is very important act, which is formulated in Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, that is PFA Act, which was formulated in 1954 by the government of India. So the main objective of this act was to ensure that the food articles sold to the customers are pure and wholesome. So this act is one of the safeguard for the consumers. So this act ensures that the whatever products, food products are bringing in the market, these are safe for the customer or consumer. Okay, these are not injurious to their health, or these are not harmful for their health. So this is one of the objective of the act, to ensure that the whatever food products are bringing on the market, in the market, these are safe for the customer. Okay, it should not cause any kind of injury for their health. So this act also, it also intended to prevent fraud or deception and encourages fair trade practices. So it is also one of the way to encourage fair trade practices, and also to prevent the fraud or malpractices by the seller. The act prohibits the manufacture. The act prohibits the manufacture, sale and distribution of not only the adulterated foods, but also foods contaminated with microorganism and toxicants and misbranded foods. So they also, this act also ensure that there should not be any misbranded food products coming in the market. Okay, or also the food which are toxicant and which can be contaminated by the microorganism, can be contaminated by the microorganism. So this act will ensure all kind of things, so that the manufacturer will not be able to sell this kind of contaminated foods to the in the market. They cannot distribute, they cannot sell to the customer which are contaminated by the microorganisms and having toxicants and also misbranded foods. So also this act, under this act, means according to the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, PFA Act 1954, an article of food shall be deemed to be adulterated if the article is obtained from a diseased animal, if the article had been prepared or packed or kept under unsanitary conditions, if any inferior or cheaper substance has been substituted wholly or in part for the article, if any constituent of the article has been wholly or in part abstracted, if the container of the article is composed whether wholly or in part of any poisonous, deleterious substance which renders its contents injurious to health, if the article contains any prohibited preservatives or permitted preservatives in excess of the prescribed limits, if the quality or purity of the articles falls below the prescribed standards. So these points already earlier in the previous video I have discussed. What are these? So according to the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, if an article of food shall be deemed to be adulterated, means considered to be adulterated in case these are these foods falls in this category. Okay, so Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, under this act, one very important part, that is establishment of a central food testing laboratory under this act, established in Calcutta, to taste the adulterated food. In case any uh, uh, adulterated food found, then these kind of foods are sent to the central lab which is established in Calcutta, so that they can take, they can check it, or also can take the proper steps. Okay, then another central uh, food testing lab also established in Mysore, that is the CFTRI, that is the Central Food Technological Research Institute, also established under this act to test the adulterated food. Under this act also some provisions are made, that is this one recruitment of the this one food inspector under the state government. Okay, so state governments also, they appoint food inspector in state level to inspect the food. Okay, so this is all about the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954. So last part of this chapter, food adulteration, that is the what is quality. So quality means, quality implies that produce is not only free of manufacturing defects but also one that will not likely to develop any defect during use in the future. So that is quality. So this is the last part of this chapter. So in this way I have finished the chapter 6, food adulteration. I hope you will watch the video. Thank you.